All right, we're going to move on.
Hey, that's enough out
Dallas,
of you.
Texas, Arlington, Texas, the city of parking lots. Dallas Cowboys win their division, get the number 2 seed, and get to host a playoff game where they're like 15-1, 16-1 in their last how many ever games at AT&T Stadium, and they just shit the bed. It looks a little bit closer. It's 48-32. The Green Bay Packers just fucking ran right through anyone and everyone that was involved with the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones probably said a lot of like terrible racist things in the locker room afterwards. He was definitely saying them in the
probably,
suite. Yeah, the Cowboys.
He was definitely dropping the boy. He was definitely dropping
Oh, yeah.
boy
Yeah,
a
he was
lot.
calling
I
him
bet.
boy. Yeah,
Hard
yeah,
boy.
a lot.
Hard
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, hard boy. Capital
Yeah,
B.
Mike McCarthy,
boy.
Dak Prescott, everyone's on the hot seat there. I would assume that Bill Belichick gets a call. It's very similar parallels to Bill Parcells when he was kind of being forced out of the game a little bit, but Jerry Jones brings him back. They have really good seasons with Tony Romo. They started off like 7-0. I don't remember that game in 2007, I believe is what it was, against the New England Patriots. It was like a Sunday afternoon. They were both 7-0 going into it. A lot of hype around that team. I'm assuming Bill Belichick gets a call. I don't know what happens, but yeah, the Cowboys are dead.
That would make sense.
Dez is dead.
The
boogeyman is very much a well and alive in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
they just keep beating them. They have 5 wins at AT&T in their last 5 games, 2 of them being playoff games.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's wild that the Packers also found another really good quarterback. I mean,
over and over.
How lucky? I mean, you got a fucking better chance of winning the lottery than you do than what they have done. I mean, it's wild. It's wild because Jordan Love is really fucking good.
Jordan Love is really good.
Really good.
But this is the formula, and I think we talked about this earlier this season.
We did.
Like we were saying, if Jordan Love ends up being the guy for Green Bay, then this is the new way that teams are going to. It's like gardening quarterbacks. It's like you grow a quarterback in a garden, and the water is the guy you had before, and you let him you let that veteran all pro, all-star quarterback just water your little new quarterback like Aaron did for Jordan Love for 4 years, and then Jordan Love's going to grow into another Aaron Rodgers. And it's kind of how it is.
The formula works if you're able to have the formula. Like Aaron Rodgers, he's a 20s, somewhere in the 20s in the first round. Jordan Love, late 20s in the first round, which means they made the playoffs the year before with their quarterback, who had life still and played many years after. Like, they're just in a position where they can just keep winning and then develop the quarterback on that side.
Well, absolutely. Right. You're right.
When you're drafting a quarterback in the first round, you're typically wanting that quarterback to perform immediately. Within the first 4 weeks of the season, you're putting them in there. Like, and Justin Fields, I think he missed 1 game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was one that missed the entire season. He played week 17 or whatever with Alex Smith, and they made the playoffs that year. But, like, yeah, there's not any other team in the league that's done this before, but I don't think there's really been a team in position to do this outside of maybe the New England Patriots, and Tom Brady just kept outlasting all of them.
Well, true.
Yeah.
But there are teams right now that can look at this formula. There are teams right now that have a top 5, a top 10 quarterback who might have 6 years left in the tank, 4 years left in the tank, who should be thinking, because look, Jordan Love wasn't a guy in that draft that was like he was barely even a first round talent. I mean, he wasn't going to be taken top 10, top 15. I think the Packers grabbed him at like 21, maybe it was like 17 around there. I think
it was like 26 because they traded. You know who had that pick originally?
Who's that?
The Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins traded out of that pick and went down like 3 or 4 spots in the draft. I think it was the Texans pick that year, actually.
Would you rather have Jordan Love or Tua?
I don't fucking know, dude. Like, Jordan Love wasn't going to do that. Like, the first 3 years of Tua and Jordan Love are uncomparable because Jordan Love did not play for 3 years. Like, we don't even know what they look like at the same. It's just not a comparable situation. And sure, we can switch them and see what happens in Madden, but like, we can't do that in real life. I don't fucking know, dude. Like, we traded down and took Noah Igbenogany, who's like a healthy scratch for the Dallas Cowboys all season because he couldn't even get on special teams. Fucking trash, dude. I hate football, dude.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
But listen,
Cowboys
this is what I'm saying. Like, but here's a team right now. Here's a team at this moment that can start this formula, that can try it on their own, and they're in the same division, and that's the Vikings.
Well, you got to keep.
You
Kirk
draft a
Cousins
quarterback you re-sign Kirk to a 3-year deal. Okay, you draft a quarterback in the first round. They have Justin Jefferson. They do need some help on defense a lot, but you can get those guys in the second and third. Go grab a solid quarterback. Go grab a guy who it's not going to be Caleb. It's not going to be Drake May. Bo Nix, maybe someone like that. Let him learn under Bo Nix is kind of garbage, but Jordan Love was not getting talked about. Jordan Love is a guy who then you go draft him, go draft the quarterback in the first round, let him grow under, and then that's it. Let him. And Kirk's a great guy to learn from. Kirk's a guy who's seen a lot in the league. He's still a really good player. And then all that knowledge, let it trickle down 3-4 years. We'll see. And if that works, it's confirmed.
Sure. Yeah, but the Cowboys are dead. Cowboys.
Yeah,
I don't know what you do if you're the Cowboys.
They need to change a lot.
Dan Quinn. We said it. I think Dez sent it in the NFL Apollo group chat that we have on Twitter. It was a still image that was shown like middle of the game, maybe after halftime, that the Cowboys are not loading the box at all, and they're a small team. They're just not loading the box. They got like 3 down men, and they got like 2 linebackers, and the Packers just ran right through them. And Dan Quinn just not adjusting to their game plan and fixing the problem. And then obviously Mike McCarthy's offense was fine. Dak threw for 400 yards, but that was because they were behind the whole game, so they had to come back. He
threw the ball 60 times.
That's so crazy, dude. And you have Tony Pollard, who everyone was like, finally, Tony Pollard gets all the number 1 touches. He gets to run the ball more, and he's just been terrible this year. Like, just not awful. Good. I took him in the first round in a few fantasy drafts. Terrible. Awful. Just terrible. Yeah, the Cowboys are in no man's land, really. They're just in hell. They don't know what to do.
Yeah. And then Bill Belichick's not going to fix. I mean, they're not going to hire Bill Belichick because I think Bill's not smart enough
to
not.
To Atlanta.
I mean, he might, I don't know where he's going to go, but having Jerry Jones as your GM is not going to fly for Bill Belichick. He's not going to want that. He can be like, "You're a fucking idiot. I'm not going to listen to you about."
But
anything.
He did it with Bill Parcells. So, Parcells ran that team. He chose the personnel. He coached the team. He did it for Bill Parcells.
Well, maybe Jerry does the same thing with this situation, but I don't even. That's not going to fix anything. It's a culture problem. It's a vibe problem.
Yeah, this has always been Mike McCarthy's thing. Like, he had Aaron for all those years. It's like, okay, go win 12 games in the regular season, but it doesn't matter come playoff time. And that's exactly what he's doing here. And yeah, I mean, I think nobody really liked the McCarthy hire when it happened, but like, it's hard to fire a guy when he's winning 12 games a year. But now, I mean, that's time. The leash has been up, but now it's just. But I'm not shocked by this.
No,
if I'm a Cowboys fan, this is a blessing in disguise because you can go get a guy like Bill. I don't know if Belichick's the best fit for this job. I don't know. I think it's a big possibility. I think that would be a big hire. I think Cowboys fans would be really happy about that.
Yes.
But I personally, if I was a Cowboys fan, I'd want a younger, youthful coach because Dan Quinn's the same way. He's one of these old heads who's been coaching for 30 years who's stubborn. He doesn't want to make adjustments. His defense is the way. It's his way or the highway, and we saw that without. He doesn't know how to adjust mid-game.
And we saw
that's just how you have to do it.
The Dan Quinn Falcons, like up 3-28, 28-3 in a Super Bowl, and you lose the game because of his defense. Because he didn't adjust. He just did the same thing.
Yeah.
The Patriots adjust. They win the Super Bowl. They come back and win in overtime. The only overtime Super Bowl. The Cowboys are dead. They're just like I don't know what's a bigger collapse, the Dolphins or the Cowboys at this point. Like, the Cowboys had a home playoff game where they don't lose ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bigger collapse we're going to be talking about here in a few minutes.
That's probably fair, but a lot of collapses from really good teams. We'll move on.